Okay, good morning. Am I audible?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Slide is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll start a new chapter, that is state space analysis. Okay.
सर
Yes.
सर चैप्टर 3 में बॉडी प्लॉट था, क्या वो खत्म हो गया क्या सर?
No. I have not covered Bode plot and Nyquist plot. That I will cover later on. Okay.
ओके सर.
Okay. So we are discussing this. Now we'll discuss state space analysis. This Bode plot and Nyquist plot, it will be taken after this state space analysis. Okay. Now, state space analysis, do you have any idea on this in your mathematics subject? Anyone? Do you have any idea in your engineering mathematics whether this topic is discussed anywhere? Yes or no? If you know, then you tell that yes, we have studied this. If it is not, then you tell no, we don't.
No, sir.
Mathematics? Hello?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Okay, fine. No issue. So this state space analysis, it is basically used in control system, okay, as well as in engineering mathematics also. Here, the technique which will be adopting, that has some advantages and it has some flexibility of your the numerical calculation. Okay, we'll see that thing later on. Okay. So in any system, if any system you have, then we can express that system in terms of a transfer function. Okay. Now that transfer function has some zeros, poles. Okay. And we can represent that transfer function with the help of some block diagram. So you know that how to convert a block diagram into a transfer function. And similarly, if a transfer function is given, then how to convert it in terms of a, let us say, a block diagram. That is the reverse process. Okay. So every block diagram, if you know that after any block, there is a particular variable is there. Okay. So those variables, there will be some input and there will be some output. So let us say we'll have I will just draw something, the board, and then you can understand. Just a minute, let me connect my board. Okay. So board is visible, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us say a particularly a system which is represented by some block diagram. Okay. So let us say there is a transfer function here, and then you have some comparator block. Okay. Then you have another block here. Okay. And then let us say this is the output. Okay. From here, let us say there is a feedback path. And this is also, let us say there is another feedback. Okay. Now consider this is your CS, this is the output, and this is your input. This is plus, this is minus, this is G1S, and this is plus, this is minus, this is G2S, and this is your G3S, but this is your unity feedback, for example. So this is your input, this is your output, and this is your input. Now, after each block, let us say this variable is something. For example, let us take this variable is something, let us say F1S. And this is a comparator. So obviously this is here you have a variable that is CS. And this one is, for example, this is, let us say, this is F2S. Okay. So we can, within this input and output intermediate, there are some variables are defined. Okay. So these variables are basically the state of any system. Okay. These are basically states. Okay. So states means within any system, if you diagnose any system, so what will happen? The system is dependent on certain parameters. Okay. Because if you vary those parameters, the system response, the output of the system will change. The output will change. And so what will happen? All the states which is present, basically the contributing parameter from the system, those things will actually affect the of the system. So our objective is we'll use these intermediate states to solve this, to diagnose whether the system is stable or it is unstable, or what will be the actually output of this system considering these states, intermediate states. Okay. So normally you have a big differential equation, a very big differential equation, and from that you are supposed to do the, let us say, calculate the output. So there we also will take help of this particularly state variable analysis, or it is also known as the state space analysis. That's why I have just told you whether you have studied this particular topic under this mathematics subject. Okay. So let us understand the basic concept of this state space analysis. Now, the mathematical modeling of a system plays an important role in the analysis and design of control system. So obviously this mathematical modeling, it is the main part. Okay, every system, if you say a DC motor or a AC motor, okay, any kind of system, electrical system, we can model it. The mathematical model is very, very important part. Okay, unless and until we model it, we cannot analyze and we cannot design that particular system for any kind of improvement. So unless the mathematical modeling is there, we cannot do it. Okay. Have you studied this mathematical modeling under this control system chapter? Mathematical modeling? Mathematical modeling, have you studied? Hello?
सर डायरेक्ट ट्रांसफर फंक्शन पढ़े हैं सर.
But mathematical modeling, okay, I will tell Tanmay sir. Okay, I will tell Tanmay sir. Fine. This is a useful representation if the system is linear, time invariant, and has a single input and single output system. So everywhere, if the system is linear and if it is time invariant, if it is not varying with respect to the time, has a single input and single output. Okay, so single input and single output means we can understand it is a basically SISO system, single input, single output. So it is also defined for system with zero initial conditions. So always we have to make sure that the system, all the initial conditions are zero. So then only it is possible. Okay. So if a transfer function is given and if you are asked that consider the initial condition, is it possible? it is not possible to include those initial conditions directly into this transfer function. So the tools developed, that is root locus technique, Bode plot, Nyquist plot, Nichols chart, etc., are powerful in the analysis and design of the control system. Out of this, you have studied root locus technique, but we are yet to cover Bode plot and Nyquist plot, and thereafter there is a Nichols chart also. So these are basically powerful tool which is used to calculate the stability of any system. But the transfer function representation is not useful for the system with initial condition. Just now I have told you, if any transfer function is given and you are asked that you consider the initial conditions. Okay, so whether you will be able to consider it, is it possible? Okay, so that there you will face the difficulties. Now, if the system is nonlinear kind of thing, so linear system, there is everywhere there is a flexibility, and obviously those flexibility can be actually have some advantages. Okay, so the problem will come if the system is nonlinear kind of thing. Next is the time varying system. So time varying system, again, all the parameters, it is changing with respect to the time. So that means the time varying system, it is a kind of system where the system parameter will change. Now the multiple input and multiple output system. So multiple input and multiple output MIMO system. So for the CISO system, everything is very simple. If it is a linear, if it is a time invariant, so everywhere we have this flexibility. But whatever you have studied till now, you know the transfer function representation, but everywhere this, if you have to solve the stability analysis of the control system, everywhere this transfer function representation will not be useful. So because the difficulties are, if the systems are having some initial conditions, if the system is a nonlinear system, if the system is a time varying system, and fourth one, if it is a MIMO system. So there the possibility of analysis of this transfer function representation, it is not useful. So we need to take help of something else. So where this transfer function representation will not be useful. So a need for a representation which overcomes all the above drawbacks was felt, and the state space representation of the system was evolved. So the difficulty there, we cannot handle those problems. So that when we will not be able to handle those problems, definitely there should be some alternative methods or some representation which will actually remove all those kinds of difficulties. So that the concept of this state space analysis, it was evolved. So this representation forms the basis for the development of the modern control system. So basically, this is the representation, which is now we will say it. So you are studying basically modern control theory. So this modern control theory, it was the basis for the let us say the start. This representation contains the information about some of the internal variables along with the output variables, and is amendable for analysis and design using digital computer. So nowadays, everything is on the basis of this computation. Computation is taken on the digital computer. So where this state space analysis, it is very, very useful, which is, just a minute. Hello? Hey, bolo. Hey, shunte pachi, bolo. Hello? হ্যালো হ্যাঁ 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 তুমি তন্ময়কে জিজ্ঞেস করো, তন্ময়কে ফোন করে, আমি ক্লাসে আছি, তন্ময়কে বলা আছে সবকিছু, ঠিক আছে? ওকে, সো this computation, every computation, it is done with the help of some computer. So where this analysis, this state space analysis will be basically this useful, where we can actually amend the internal variables, or we can amend some designs also. So those possibilities and flexibilities are there in the state space analysis. So it is suitable for representing linear, non-linear, time varying, and time invariant, and the CISO and the MIMO system. So all the difficulties which were actually present for if you consider a transfer function, so that was removed with the help of this state space analysis. Now the state variables. Consider an RLC network excited by an input Vt as shown. So let us say we'll just understand what is the state variables and how the state space analysis is carried out. So consider a RLC circuit, simple RLC circuit. You know this thing: a resistance, an inductor, and a capacitor. The current through the inductor is IT. This is the series current, and the voltage across this capacitor is VC, and it is supplied from a source that is VT. So the dynamic behavior of this circuit can be understood by considering the loop equation. So this is very, very useful. So all of you know that. So can you write the loop equation for this? Can you write, anyone? Loop equation? Because this is very, very basic concept. Anyone? A simple RLC circuit. This is R, this is L, and this is C. And it is supplied from a source, VT. So this is plus minus, this is your VT, this is R, L, and C. The current through this inductor is IT, and voltage across this capacitor is VCT. So if you write this, so the current is IT. So if you write the loop equation, so how to write the loop equation? Please tell me. You have studied in third semester, fourth semester in circuit theory. Please tell me.
So IR
IR, correct.
plus L di by dt
Plus L di by dt. Then you are right. You are right. Then you tell voltage across the capacitor. It is expressed in terms of I. How? This 1 by C integration.
I dt. Sir.
IDT.
Yes, is equal to dt. But you have to study with this thing. These are very simple thing. For an electrical engineer, you have to know this thing. This will be very basic thing, which you will be able to solve in a very quick manner. Okay. Okay. Fine. So this is the equation. So your integration limit is between minus infinity to t. Okay. Now differentiating this equation, we get a second order equation. So let us differentiate, because I will also derive so that you can understand this. So what will happen if you differentiate this thing? So this is L d2I by dt square plus your R into di by dt plus 1 by C. This integration and differential will cancel, only I will be there. Okay. This will be equal to dV by dt. Yes or no? Any difficulty? Any difficulty on this stage?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the equation. Now the solution of this equation requires two initial conditions, namely I0, that is what is the initial current, and what is the di by dt at t equal to 0. So I0 is the current through the inductor at t equal to 0, and from equation 9.1, so what we'll get basically? Basically, we need to calculate di by dt at 0. So di by dt at 0, what will be the value for this case? If you are taking this, so just a minute, I will share that thing so that you can understand actually at least. So we are taking the first equation. This equation we are taking. So if you take this equation, so di by dt, or let us say L di by dt, L di by dt equal to Vt minus, this is I into R minus 1 by C integration of I dt. So this is actually limit is between t to infinity. Okay. So when you are putting this this thing di dt, so I will write again di by dt at t equal to 0. So this will be V0 minus, this will be I0 into R minus 1 by C integration t equal to 0 to infinity I dt divided by N. Is it clear? Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So the quantity is 1 by C integration infinity to t I dt is the voltage across the capacitor at t equal to 0. Hence di by dt at t equal to 0 is independent on the initial voltage across the capacitor in addition to V0 and I0. So thus, if we know Vt for t greater than equal to 0 and I0, the current through the inductor at t equal to 0 and Vc0, the voltage across the capacitor at t equal to 0, the dynamic response of the system can be easily evaluated. So obviously, if you know these initial values, so it will be easy to calculate. So inductor and capacitor are the two energy storing elements in the network which are responsible for the behavior of the network along with the input. So thus we can treat the current through the inductor and voltage across the capacitor as the characteristic variables of the network. If these variables are known at any time at t equal to 0, the network response can be easily found out. So we can understand these initial conditions are basically creating the problem to calculate the dynamic response of the system. So these elements, these particular characterizing variables, these are basically your state variables. These will be your state variables, which is actually required within the system to calculate the overall performance of that particular case. So as these two variables describe the state of the network at any time t, and these are the minimum number of variables that should be known at t equal to 0 to obtain the dynamic response of the network. So unless and until you know these two things, V0 and I0, or let us say I0 and Vc0, these things if you don't know, then you cannot calculate the dynamic response, because this we know that this inductor and capacitor, they are having some initial conditions. They are carrying some initial conditions. So these elements should be defined clearly. Okay. So unless and until we know these parameters, we will not be able to calculate the overall response of the systems. So these two variables are the minimum variables which is required to characterize the dynamic response of the system. So these variables are basically known as the state variables of the system. Is it clear with this example? Where what is the basically definition or how to choose the state variable? I will discuss in detail more, but as of now, whatever we have discussed, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So now we can define the state and state variables as the minimum number of variables required to be known at time t equal to t0 along with the input for t greater than 0 to completely determine the dynamic response of a system for t greater than t0 are known as the state variables of the system. The state of the system at any time t is given by the values of this variable at time t. So minimum number of variables which is required to completely determine the dynamic response of the systems are known as the state variables of the system. So this is the basically basic definition of any state variables, and these state variables are used to completely determine the complete response of the system, and the approach, the analysis, the process, it is known as the basically the state variable analysis. So we'll understand, we'll take the numerical example. So these are the basically introductory part. So we'll proceed with this thing, but there will be examples and all those things will come later. So if the dynamic behavior of a system can be described by an nth order differential equation, we require n initial conditions of the systems, and hence a minimum of n state variables are required to be known at t equal to t0 to completely determine the behavior of the system to a given input. So let us understand a big differential equation, nth order differential equation is there. So nth order differential equation, if it is there, so every order corresponding to the every order, we need some initial condition. So if it is a nth order system, so this is very, very simple. You have a second order system, so you need two state variables. If it is a third order system, so you need three state variables. These are the minimum number of state variables you require. But if you want more, then you can take, obviously. But the minimum number of state variables which is required, it depends upon the number, what is the order of the differential equation. So it is a standard practice to denote these n state variables by x1t, x2t, xnt, and m inputs. So first of all, we need to understand, for a system, there will be some set of inputs, there will be set of outputs, and in between, we will actually take help of some of the state variables, which is completely dependent, because if we are not defining those state variables, we cannot determine the complete dynamic behavior of the system. So that's why there will be, for any state variable analysis, there will be a set of inputs, there will be a set of outputs, and there will be a set of state variables. So these three things should be kept in hand. Okay. So for any kind of state variable analysis, let us understand this thing. So for any state variable analysis, what are the things you require? First thing you require a set of input variables. Second thing you require set of output variables. And third thing you require set of state variables. So between input, so you need to understand this is your input. Then you have a set of state variables. So these are input variable. You have some state variables in between. And then you have some output variables. Now it is clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So the system is described by a n first order differential equation in this state variable. So let us say consider a first order differential equation, first order. So there are n number of first order equation. So that means the function is dx1 by dt equal to x1 dot. Normally this variable, this dx1 by dt is represented by x1 dot, dx2 by dt it is x2 dot, and this x1 dot, it is function of x1, x2 up to xn, and these are the basically your state variables, and u1, u2 up to un, and the time, obviously the time. So it is basically this x1 dot, it is function of the state variables, all the state variables, and all the input variables and time. So this is the basically the complete definition of any differential equation. And so this way we can write dx2 by dt equal to x2 dot equal to f2, which is function of x1, x2 up to xn, and u1, u2 up to un and t. And similarly, dxn by dt it is xn, and this is basically function. This is function of fn, and again it is same way. It is dependent on all variables. So this way actually all these variables are defined. So the function f1, f2, fn may be time varying or time invariant or linear or non-linear. So any kind of thing may happen. So these functions, they don't have any restriction. These functions may be linear, it may be non-linear, it may be time varying, or it is time invariant. So for any kind of nature, this particular system can be applicable. So using this vector notation to represent the state and the derivatives and input. So we know that this xt. So xt is your x1, x2, x up to xn, and x dot t, it is x1 dot, x2 dot, and xn dot. And ut, this is u1, u2, un, up to un. Okay. So this basically, I will just tell you this thing. So for example, you have a set of state variables, that is x1, x2, x3 up to, let us say, xn. These are your state variables. These are your state variables. Then you have your u1, u2, u3, these are these are your input variables. So when we represent this, So X, this is the state vector. The state vector, it is represented in terms of a matrix. It is your n cross 1 matrix. So these all state variables, it is written here. All state variables, it is written here. This is n cross 1 matrix. Similarly, all the input vectors, it is also represented with the help of a matrix. So this is your So this is your input vector. This is your m cross 1 vector, and your x dot is a first derivative of this one. This is also represented in this term, that is x1 dot, x2 dot, x3 dot, like that. It is xn dot. So these are your first derivative of that. Okay, so this way actually we can represent. So where xt is known as the state vector, ut is known as your input vector. So we can compact it. How we can compact it? So x dot t, this is equal to this function of xt and ut and t. So these all state vectors, all input vectors, and the time t. So where f of xt ut t equal to, this is basically a function of f1, f2 up to fn. So f1 is function of xt ut t, f2 is xt t ut. So like that, it is actually the same way we can continue. So if the functions f are independent of t, the system is a time invariant system, and it is written as x dot t equal to f of xt ut. Similarly, the outputs y1, y2 up to yp may be dependent on the state vector xt and the input vector ut. So yt equal to g of xt and ut. So this is the output vector. So whatever we are just actually now discussing, these are the input vector. So these all input vectors are represented in terms of your state variables and the time. So similarly, the output vectors, this is yt. This yt, it is represented g of xt ut. So yt is again y1, y2 up to yp. So there are t number of, let us say, the output vectors are present. So now it is the state equations for a linear system. So how to represent this state equation? Okay, for a linear system, we'll consider first a linear system. So for a linear system, the derivatives of the state variables can be expressed as the linear combination of the state variables and the input. So for example, this x1 dot equal to a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus a1n xn plus b11 u1 plus b12 u2 plus b1n um. So let us say this is a equation, it is given. So where this x1, x2 up to xn, these are your state variables, u1, u2 up to um, these are your input vector or the input variables. Okay. Similarly, x2 dot, it is represented like this, and xn dot, it is represented the same way. Okay. These are the given equation. Okay. Linear equation. Now, this equation we can represent in the form of x dot t equal to axt plus bu. So this is the actually representation of the state space analysis. Always this derivative of the state vector, that is x dot t, it is equal to a into xt plus b into ut. So a is a basically matrix which is n cross n matrix. B is a again constant matrix, it is n cross m matrix, and u, it is the input vector, it is m cross 1 matrix, and xt, it is n cross 1 state vector. So this is basically the representation of the matrix representation of this all these equations. So this A equation, this A will be equal to your all these coefficients a11, a12 up to a1n, then a21, a22, a2n. So this way actually will continue a11, a12, a1n, and this way. So let us say, for example, for the other, this is an1, an2, an, and similarly for the B matrix also. So B is basically, it is related with all the input vectors. So B11, B12, like that, up to B1m. So B21, B22, B2m, and Bn1, Bn2 up to Bn. So the output can be expressed as a linear combination of the state variables and the input. So y1t equal to your. So now this is the expression, whatever we have discussed, that is for the input. Now for the output, these state variable equations will be y1t equal to c11 x1 plus c12 x2 plus c1n xn, Similarly, the inputs are D11 U1 plus D12 U2 plus D1n UN. And like that, it is up to a pth term it is expressed. So output vector, so see this input vector, it is represented this way, that is x dot t equal to xt plus dut. So this is the form which you have to remember. Similarly, the output vector yt equal to cxt plus dut. So this is also where the c is your all these c coefficients c11, c12, c1n, and cp1, cp2 up to cpn, and d is another matrix which is d11. So from where we are getting these coefficients of this input vector. So d11, d12, d1n, and dp1, dp2, dpn. So this is the way actually we can represent this particularly the output vector. So the complete state model of the linear system, this is x dot t equal to axt plus dut and yt equal to cxt plus dut. So this is the basically a representation of the state space model. So this is known as the state equation. These two equation is known as the state equation. This particularly the first one, it is the state equation, and the second one, it is known as the output equation. So for a single input and single output system, this thing will be represented like a, if here it is a vector, because there will be maybe a multiple inputs. So you can there are multiple inputs and there are multiple outputs also. So when this is for a MIMO system, but if you have a CISO system, single input and single output system, your input is 1 and output will be also 1, YT. So input is UT and output is YT. So in those cases, the representation of the state space analysis will be x dot t equal to axt plus du and yt equal to cxt plus du. So let us consider a same circuit, that is the RLC circuit, where resistance, inductance, and this capacitance, they are all connected in series, and there is a current, series current is IT, and voltage, the source voltage is VT. So let us consider the RLC circuit. If the current I through the inductor and the voltage VC is across the capacitors are taken as the state variables. So previously also we have taken these are the two state variables, because without this we cannot determine the complete behavior of the system. So this C VC equal to we know this is C dVc by dt equal to I. So we know that the current through the capacitor, it is C into dV by dt. So B is here VC by VC. So C dVc by dt equal to IT, and the loop equation L di by dt equal to BL, and that we know that is V minus IR minus VC. So now we are defining the state variables. What are the state variables? Voltage across the capacitor, this is one state variable, that is x1t, and current through the inductor, that is another state variable, that is x2t, and Vt is your input, that is it. So this is the basically these are the two state variables, and this is your input. So x1 dot t. So now I will just take this one. So what we'll do, Vc is this one. So this is your x1 dot. So C into x1 dot equal to IT. So x1 dot t will be equal to 1 by C into x2t, and L into di by dt. So here we'll write IT instead of IT, we'll write L x2 dot equal to VL equal to V minus IR minus VC. So here also the same thing, x2 dot t equal to minus 1 by L x1t minus R by L x2t and plus 1 by L ut. So x1t, x1 dot t and x2 dot t, these are represented 0, 1 by C minus 1 by L minus R by L, x1, x2, and 0, 1 by L ut. So let us say this thing I will derive in the board also. So just a minute. So we know that the voltage across the capacitor, this is C dVc by dt equal to your IT. And we know that L di by dt, that is equal to your voltage, that is Vt minus Ri minus your Vc. Okay. So this is the way actually we are going to define. So we are taking two state variables, Vc, this is equal to your x1, and your I equal to basically x2. So C x1 dot will be equal to your IT. So that is your x2. So x1 dot equal to 1 by C into x2. So let us cross check this thing. x1 dot equal to 1 by c x2. Is it clear? Any doubt, please tell me. If you have any doubt, please tell me. Yes or no? Any doubt? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay. So similarly, the second equation, that is L di by dt. So L into x2 dot equal to Vt is your constant. Okay. So this is your minus Ri. So R x2 and Vc is your x1 and plus this is Vt means let us say Ut. Okay. So x2 dot equal to, we can write minus x1 1 by L x1 minus R by L then x2 plus 1 by L ut. Okay. So if you want to write in terms of matrix form, so this will be x1 dot, x2 dot. So this will be your elements, all the. So we need to check. This will be your x1, x2. This will be your x1, x2. So we first take the coefficient of x1, so it is 0. And coefficient of x2 is 1 by c. So this will be 1 by c. Here also, what we'll do? Coefficient of x1, it is minus 1 by L. And this is your minus R by L. Plus, for the first term, there is no constant term. So this will be 0. And for this one, it is 1 by L. So this is your input vector. So just cross check. This is 0, 1 by C, minus 1 by L, minus R by L. Okay. 0, 1 by C, minus 1 by L, minus R by L, x1, x2, 0, 1 by L. So this is the form, that is x dot t equal to xt plus but. Is it clear? So A matrix is this one. This is your A matrix and this is your B matrix. If you have any doubt, please tell me how to calculate A matrix and how to calculate B matrix. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any question from anyone? Please tell me. Okay, fine. I think there is no question. So we'll take the attendance. Just wait. Okay, thank you. We'll meet in the next class.
सर
Yes.
सर बीआईटी रामगढ़ सारे कॉलेजेस खुल गए सर, हम लोग का कब खुलेगा?
BIT में BIT सिंदरी.
यस सर.
Third year.
क्या सर?
Third year batch started. Third year batch.
आरडीआर बैच मींस सर?
I want to mean, Jeff.
Third year batch.
Third year batch, whether it is started.
Yes sir, from first week of Jan.
We are also, see, wait, we will be also coming. Why to worry for that matter? Definitely we'll do that. Okay, we are waiting that there is a something, some college which is, we are actually following BIT Sindri. Okay, so definitely it will be done. We'll see, we'll cross check it and definitely we'll get a notice because final year we are starting from 20th of December. Okay.
Yes sir, and in BIT Sindri, 5th semester will start from first week of Jan sir.
Okay, you will get appropriate notice. Okay, just wait for some time. Enjoy this December. Enjoy this December and then January will be something.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay sir.
Okay, thank you. We'll close this meeting.
Thank you, sir.